Our last presentation of our series is on follow-up and ATIM reports. And today, joining us, we have Michael Baker, as always, the voice of reason in some cases, and myself. And today we have Lacey Pollock manning the chat pod for us. So she's doing a great job already. And then we have Natasha and Chelsea, who are having a bit of connectivity issues, but they hopefully will be able to join us throughout the course of the session. I'm Dee Reinhardt. I'm going to be your guide today. And today our topics are the big picture and recap, tools for facilitating customer progress, our regional dashboards, and we're going to be able to talk a little bit about tracking progress and follow-up. First and foremost, we want to cover the big picture and the recap of where we've been and where we're going. So our big picture, again, is manufacturing information, our outreach, our ATIM guide, which is going to be the focus today, our personal training and employment plans, which we've covered in the past couple of webinars. Our big picture flow, we're on the last two sections of our flow process here. We're talking about using the dashboards, and then we're going to be reviewing reports and fostering our partnerships. Just another recap, it came up in yesterday's webinar about customer process. And what I want to do is I want you to review these steps, because this is the way that we need to be doing things as we are moving forward with ATIM process. We want to make sure that we have the applications complete, that the case managers are reviewing them, logging into IWDS. We're verifying eligibility, administering the TABE, updating everything in IWDS, and then the information from IWDS will automatically propagate into the ATIM guide reports that we have, I'm sorry, the tools that we have. Now for eligibility, we have to worry about the suitability items, and NOCD is used here. And then we go down to step 5, where suitable participants are given a drug test, and then as soon as we figure out that they're eligible, that they've passed the drug test, that they've been put into random assignment, then they automatically update on the customer list as it goes in through IWDS. LWIA staff then needs to do the certification in IWDS after random assignment, and after the certification is complete, the enrollment in IWDS will take place once the WorkNet posts that the individual training plan has started, and IWDS will receive this. So that's the process. Keep that in your next to your computer screen if you need to, but that's what the process needs to be. Now, we've already talked about the completed assessments, the career plans, Phase 1 expanded bridge, Phase 2 optional training components, the technical training, job openings and placements, and all of those items are partner team related items that need to be reviewed. And part of all of this is being able to access the ATIM partner guide. So as you're using the guide, it helps you find the steps that you need. It helps you find all the tools that you need, all of the downloaded items that you need to take care of these things. And again, we have a note here that veterans who meet all eligibility, suitability, drug test requirements are not randomly assigned. They can be enrolled in the treatment group. So we have some tools available to help you with the customer progress. And what we want to make sure that you understand is that the webinar, this webinar is focused on ATIM tools to help you stay on track. Any separate grant reporting is just that. It's separate. So what we want to point out today, and we can do a live demonstration if you need it, but when you go to the Illinois IL WorkNet manufacturing site, ilworknetmanufacturing.com, you'll see the ATIM information. At the very bottom, you'll see the ATIM guide here at the bottom of the screen. You do not need a login to get into this guide. A little bit earlier, we had some confusion because someone was trying to click into this sign-in right here, but that is an admin for the website sign-in. And then this is the ATIM guide. Once you're on the ATIM guide, which is this picture right here, you'll see sign into ATIM tools, which is this little image right there. So then once you get to the ATIM tools, that is where you will need a password. And all of that is password protected based on your partner account. If you do not have your partner account set up, you do need to do that and then request access. And then to set up your partner account, you'll go to the link that's on the screen here, and we can post that into the chat pod, Lacey, if you can, so that if you have not already set up your WorkNet Professional password account, you can do that there. And if you need to request access to gain access to the ATIM tools, you can do that at info@siuccwd or at info@illinoisworknet.com. So our ATIM tools today will be talking about the various listings that are available that help with applicants and team members. Profiles, you actually can see any of the customers' data on their profiles. There's a number of resources that are available. There are reports that you can access, as well as the dashboard using some color-coded visuals. Now, the resources that are there include some of those items that we do not want available for public viewing, some of the screening tests that we have. So when you are in the ATIM tools, you will be requested to log in, and this is where you need to be given access to this. Then the very first thing that you will see is your customer screen. Now this image has false data on it. It is our test data that we were using to set up the system. And it is set up so that it is by region only. Our screen actually shows a number of regions because we were testing that information. Then once you click around, you can get to the application and you can see the customer profile. So when you have clicked on the profile, you will see the information on the screen here, and includes the actual information from IWDS, including the TABE results and WIA eligibility, the summary information from their application, and it actually gives you a link to their application. The suitability review and comments are all down there as well. And our update this week will help you see the eligibility and suitability. The next screen is for teams. And again, these are test screens from our test environment. They show you how you can access the team information, create an ATIM team, as well as update any of the information. So your update this week will give you the ability to log in to set up teams within your region. And it is coming out this week. So if you aren't seeing these items yet, you will see them hopefully by the end of the week. They're in process of getting tested right now. Our next screen is resources. And those resources are the items that include all of the downloads that we've talked about in the webinars, all of the items that may or may not be available for public viewing, i.e. the screening tests that we have available, and then as well as any report access that you may have put into the document. And the initial resources are not all available right now, but they will be as soon as everything else is up and running. Or not everything else is up and running, but as parts come up, they become available. And last but not least, we have reports. You will be able to click on the reports in the ATIM system to see the various reports that are available. They will span all the data. You'll be able to pull information with different demographic information that you can set, and this will hopefully help you with the determination for the random assignment data entry. And the initial reports are due out this week to allow eligibility and suitability. So as the reports are being created, they will be added to the system. And last but not least, when you are talking about the reports and as the data becomes available, all of these reports will come out and be available in print form. And as you can see from the list, these are the anticipated reports that we have coming up into the system right now. So our regional dashboards are where you will be able to do a lot of work and find some information to help you make sure that things are falling in line. The treatment group will give you some information related to all of your eligible and non-eligible information for the treatment group. It will help you understand all the data that you need to know that is planned, on track, off track, all of those sorts of things to help you stay up to date on those items. We also have a tool that will help you show on track or off track for the different steps in the training process. And as you can see, on track is green, off track is red, and planned date not met will give you a yellow caution kind of item. So if you are looking at this, it will help you give some input to your team to make sure that you are keeping everybody on track. Mike, did you want to say something about the previous slide?
I'm just wondering if the title might be a little bit misleading because we have the WIA eligibility down the left-hand side. So what we're seeing is, how are people testing out? Were they eligible or not? Did they pass the drug test or not? And then which group they went into. So this is more of an overview of the status of the applicants, not just the treatment group. But then once we have all this information put in and they go into the treatment group, then you have this on the right-hand side. So, I mean, it looked like there was a little bit more going on here than just treatment group. So I just want to make sure that was clarified.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. All right, great. And Chelsea is putting a note in here that it says, to clarify for everyone, the teams and reporting is not available to the public just yet. All right, moving on to the participant dashboard. The participant also has access to see what the information is going on with them specifically. So the participant has access to this screen and can log in with their username and password so that they can see where they are on track or off track and whether they've passed certain things so that they can plan a little bit better about what's going on with their progress in the process as well. And then we have regional dashboards for the jobs, and this information is gained from the forecasted jobs that you enter from working with your employers, the actual openings, and then the participants' job placements. So as you're looking at this, it should be an ever-shifting number depending upon when the information is being put into the system. Let's talk a few moments about tracking progress and following up. So our personal training employment plan is a roadmap to be adjusted based on any roadblocks that you're encountering as needed. The updates are seen by the team and students in real time. So if somebody's putting something in there, they're seeing it as soon as it goes in and OK is clicked. You want to adjust the plan as soon as an adjustment is identified and needed. And are the plan dates being met? If not, you want to flag those items for intervention. Adjust that plan and find out why the dates weren't met. Was somebody very ill? Was there a family emergency? Did the class get canceled? What happened? If you're seeing a lot of red flags, it means that somebody is off track. And you want to make sure that a student is successful, so you want to assist them by helping them get back on track. You want to check the plans frequently. Don't rely solely on scheduled team meetings. Go in and check it on your own. Don't wait. Ensure that the students use the plan to stay on track with their roadmap, and they can see job openings there as well. We mentioned this in an earlier webinar. We want to make sure that we are developing a plan within your region to make sure that you stay in touch with your participants for the study, the treatment group individuals. And then remember that follow-up is required for a year. Mike, do you have anything that you'd like to say about this?
Yeah, that was a great overview, Dee. But I would also remind everyone, it's not just roadblocks that might necessitate a change in the plan, but there may be an unexpected opportunity. An employer may come forward with an OJT placement opportunity, may come forward with a work-based learning, work experience sort of situation or internship that was not anticipated. Also, somebody could be, going through their plan and a job open up that they would be a good fit for, and maybe they had been planned for classroom training, but with a short OJT, with a sure job opportunity out there, you may want to change it on the fly and say, we've got an opportunity here to get somebody into a job right now, and if the person is willing and it meets their career goals, take advantage of the opportunity. So it's very much the plan is a living document. I mean, we've talked about that before. So, don't overlook being able to adjust things to take advantage of opportunities if and when they come up.
Very good point. We have a question from the audience. Is the 1-year follow-up 1 year from the end of training? Jerry, I think we have you that might be able to answer this. If you want to type your answer in the chat pod, we can answer that for you. I don't see your phone number in the listing, but we'll get you an answer for that one. And we'll answer some other questions in just another couple of slides. So here's where you will see whether or not someone is on track or off track. As you can see, the colors indicate whether they're on track or off track. Plan date not met, that would throw up a red flag for you. So you want to make sure that you're looking at this report for everybody on a regular basis. And to enter that information, you would enter it within the individual's items by clicking on the on track or off track items right here. It looks like they're on track if they're working within their dates, and on track here on the phase 1, and then that shows up in the report down at the bottom. All right. Then we have our upcoming webinars. we have just added a webinar on Monday for an update on random assignment. And on our next technical assistance webinar is scheduled for October 1st. And then we have not determined the date yet, but we will have a Q&A session with Michael Sloan on training program design and delivery. So prepare all of your questions for that so that when we are ready with that, we can have all of those questions ready to go for him. Now, we have Jerry Elward on the line. So Jerry, let's get an answer for some follow-up for some folks.
Okay, yeah, I was typing. I have trouble with two things at a time, but the follow-up is really tracking after training is completed, particularly employment or employment opportunities like OJT. So, yes.
All right, and then we have a follow-up question about co-enrollment. Can you answer that one?
I'm looking for it. Can you read it for me, Dee? I don't see
Is
it.
that one-year follow-up with co-enrollment?
Well, it's 1 year follow-up from the ATIM training completion.
Okay, all right.
Whether or not
if
enrollment.
it depends on what they're enrolled in. And again, this is ATIM information that we're sharing. So it is, if they are on any other grants, those other grants need to follow those other grants guidelines.
Absolutely.
So we just want to make sure that we're talking about ATIM. And so it's 1 year after they complete training with the ATIM training. All right. We have another question from the audience. When we met with the research team, I understood they will be doing their own follow-up for the study and that we may be able to exit the customer if they are in direct hire and back on the road. So you want us to keep IWDS open on them for 1 year? Jerry or Mike? I think we may have lost Mike in volume. All right, Jerry, can you answer that question for me?
I sent them. Yeah, I mean, they can be exited once they're complete, but they still need to be tracked for follow-up, you know, if they've entered employment.
Okay.
So, I'm not certain of what's behind the question there.
Well, I believe SPR will be continuing follow-up with the participants for a number of years. So I think what the question might entail is, can the LWIA exit them off of their system since SPR will continue to follow up with them?
Exit hasn't changed at all. It's the same. For the most part, it's just like WIA. So, they'll be able to exit them when they're done. But follow-up is a post-exit activity. So,
okay.
Or in this case, it's post-training, but would include post-exit.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you for that answer. The other item here is, as we all know, customers who are working rarely feel the need to answer our emails or phone calls. So does anybody have a suggestion that they might want to make? And again, we can include that in our FAQ for best practices, and I can give you a little test drive on how to access that. So it might be an idea that if you've come across a really good idea about staying in touch with your customers, you might want to share that with everyone else. So we want to talk a little bit about the ATIM guide and just show you that the tools and resources are available. I would like to pull over our screen share just to show you, if you have not already seen it or want to ask another couple of questions, we can take a look at that. Mike, did you want to suggest anything here?
Oh, sure. I was going to type it. I thought you would grab it. But one way to do it, if they have a Facebook or LinkedIn account, you can ask them what that is, or just look for them out there. Then you can follow them passively, and whether or not you friend them or not, or connect with them or not, depending on the system, if you know they're on Facebook or other social media, you can kind of keep tabs on what their status is without really having to bug them at all.
That's a good point, but a lot of us creep on people. I know. I check things out on people all the time. So this is the ATIM IL WorkNet manufacturing website. And to access the guide, you scroll to the bottom of the page, and you go to the Partners ATIM Guide, and then you click on that. It takes you to the actual resources where you can find all sorts of information for this program specifically. And what I wanted to point out to you was the FAQ section right here takes you to the section where we ask and answer all the questions in these webinars. And if you send in a question, you can submit it, and we will add those answers as well. So if you go to the category, type in your email address, then you can pick what category you want it to be about, what subcategory it is, and maybe this is where you put in your question first and foremost, or secondarily, you can put in any suggestions that you may come across about how you can stay in touch with your customers better. And then we'll include this in a best practices section. So stay in touch. And then maybe it's connect with them on social media. My typing isn't so good when I've got 1,000 eyes on me. So that's how you can take care of that idea. And we will make sure that we get a best practices section set up. All right, so then if you want to get to the tools, we go back to the online guide, and just down about just before you get to the block of sections, there is sign in to ATIM tools. You want to make sure that you click on that. Now, this is the area that will require the login. And because this gives me actual data, I'm going to go to the test page so that we don't show you any real customers' names. And you log in with your username and password. And it's taking a moment for it to go. Oh. Sometimes when I type a little bit slower, it gets a little bit more accurate. So this is the screen that you will come up with. And as you can see, it shows the entire list of your applicants. Now, my list has all of the regions in it because it is the test environment for the entire state. But you can see here that you have in progress 20, submitted 108, total 128. You can see the application of the individual, and we can add the pictures to them as we're going through the process. We have contact information, where they came in through, all of the personal education, and all of the information from their application. When we go back to, you can get to the user dashboard as well, so that you can give them an idea of what it is that they need to be seeing, whether they're enrolled or something, whether they've started something, whether they've completed it, and if the team has signed off on it. So then we want to go back and we want to see their, we saw their application, we can see their profile. Then what we can do is go to the team section, see the people on the various teams, add a team, or edit what part of the team the person needs to be associated with. So maybe the team member is only going to be involved with determining suitability, or perhaps they're only going to be involved with optional training. So you see the different components here across the screen of when they are involved with a different area. And then you can remove that partner once or if that partner changed. And Lacey just put in the chat pod that there is a reminder that the teams and reporting is not yet available yet to the public, but that is one of the items that we hope is up and running by the end of the week. So then, as we go back up to the top, we have our resources. And my laptop on my desk is moving a lot faster than it is on the screen, so I'm waiting for that to catch up. Oh, Trish, that's a good suggestion, a link to go back. I don't know if that can be accomplished, but Lacey, if you can capture that and put it into the notes from today's webinar, we will certainly ask if that is an option that's available. And as you can see here, there are documents available. It has who to contact about different areas. It has case manager resources, and it has all of the different tools that we have published that can help you make sure that your process is going smoothly. And then when we get to the reports, currently, as we reiterated during the presentation, we have only the application reports available. But as you can see, you can connect with, when you're trying to pull a report, you can connect with what kind of military status they have. Oh, I'll wait for my screen to catch up. So this is kind of exciting that it's all pulling together, and I'm hoping that all of this just works wonderfully for everyone. So as we're looking again, we can select to pull reports and find out specific items. We can use filters to select different items. So if we want to find out that, no, they didn't have any military background, and their highest level of education is maybe high school or GED, and my screen is slogging along slowly on the webinar. The point I'm making here is you can filter your reports right now for the purposes of finding the appropriate people and making them the most suitable. And Mike, would you like to refresh everybody on suitability here?
Suitability in what context, Pete?
To make sure that we're picking the most suitable applicants.
Oh, sure. Well, obviously, they have to be WIA eligible. Then we're looking at, are they within striking distance of 9th grade math or 10th grade reading? And then also, do they have any sort of inclination toward manufacturing or skill sets in their background that are transferable? And can they pass a drug test? So the key thing in there that's probably most subjective is the past experience and education. Is that a good fit for manufacturing? Do they have the willingness and commitment to go into manufacturing? Do they know what they're getting into? Sort of thing. So that's more subjective. And then also the key thing is just make sure that you aim high enough on reading and math that they don't languish in a remedial program for months and months.
Great, great. Thank you very much. So I'm going to close down the screen share now, unless anybody else has a real quick question to see there. And we're moving out, so if you have any questions or comments that you need to make, please feel free to contact info@illinoisworknet.com. If you need to, you can find the ATIM guide. You can find all of the recordings on the ATIM guide as well as on YouTube. And if you have not joined us yet on our LinkedIn group, the Illinois Virtual Job Club Network, you can do that as well. We have some interesting conversations going on there, and it's virtual, so you don't have to worry about leaving your desk. Do we have any last-minute questions from the audience? If you want to type those into the chat pod, we will make sure that we get Mike or Jerry to answer them for you. I want to thank Lacey today very much for her help and assistance, and thank Mike Baker for joining us as always and providing the wonderful insight that he does every webinar. Mike, do you have any last words that you would like to say?
Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time to go along with us here.
And Jerry, do you have anything that you'd like to say?
Well, just have a good day. Thanks
for
being with us.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. Thanks, everybody. I don't see any questions coming up into the chat pod, so we will close down our recording for today, and we will see you on Monday with the SPR follow-up. Have a great day.